key variables are actually the business, the management, the valuation, the governance and the financials. Let us say that there are 5 key variables and there are probably others as well. For any investor, to make the buy decision, he has to be right on each of these 5 decisions to really end up with a multibagger. Right? So we've created scenario 1, 2 and 3 where, depending on the quality of investor, your probability of being right for each of these 5 variables is different. So a great investor will probably be right, let's say 80% of time in his decision on the business, 70% of the time in his decision on the management and so on. But a good investor will be right on the business 60% of the time, will be right on management 50% of the time and so on. And we could debate these probability numbers and you please put in any number that you think fit. But the most important mathematical concept involved here is, for you to get a multibagger, for you to get that gorilla, you need to be right on each of these variables. These are AND decision points, and therefore you have to think of it as joint probabilities, which means probability of being right on business multiplied by probability of being right on management multiplied by probability of being right on valuation and so on. That gives you the joint probability. So the joint probability of this being right and you getting that gorilla, if you are a great investor, is 14%. 14% in this scenario.
That means best of the best, only 14% of investments would have been right. If you are numero uno, only 14% probability of getting a multibagger.
14% of getting a long-term multibagger gorilla.
So imagine you got all the check boxes right, you made 100 investments, you will only get 14. And this is like your best of the best.
Yes.
Can I say these numbers actually apply even to, let's say, Rare, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, who've been great investors?
I don't want to comment on anybody else's probability, but this is my assessment of the best of the best.
Okay. Which means you will keep on doing mistakes. But when you get it right, the rarity of finding a good gorilla is only 14%, and this is best of the best.
Yes.
And when you get it, please stay with it. That's the point which we need to really, bring out again and again, that once you've been fortunate, lucky, you're the insight, you're the foresight, you use the framework which we discussed in a couple of episodes, and if you identify one gorilla, well then you should not be in a hurry to sell early or part with it early. Yes. Because mathematically the probability is only 14%.
Yes. But Nikunj, let me extend it a little further. So for the great investor it is 14%. For a good investor it is probably 3%. Okay, for a medium investor it is 6%.
That's 3%.
For a good investor it is 3%.
Yes.
For a medium good investor, for a better investor it is 6%. For the best investor maybe it is 14%. Now, the journey of each investor is to go from that 3% probability to 14% probability. Right? The point is that once you found a gorilla, let's say you start with 10 stocks in your portfolio and 2 of them have become gorillas for you, then given that 14% odd probability, the remaining 8 you realize you need to change over a period of time, and you will change that over a period of time. However, the next time you are only taking 8 decisions, assuming that you are restricting your portfolio to 10 stocks. Now out of those 8, let's say you get only 1 right, but you are only taking 8 new decisions. You are no longer taking the decision again on the first 2. Though in my mind, the holding the first one is also, first 2 are also, is also a decision. Right? So as you keep evolving, your probability will keep getting better, and more importantly, the duration of the decisions which have gone right for a terminal value investor is far longer than the duration of a decision which has not gone right for a terminal value investor, and which is why we call this as probabilistic portfolio management.